What is up, everyone? I have no clue what to talk about, so I'm just gonna ramble here. Because there's a lot of stuff that happened, but I can't really keep track of all of it. Plus, I have a habit of repeating myself. If you ever look at my older videos and look at what I say now, a lot of stuff that I say is usually a rehash of what I go through, and it's not because I don't think it's because I'm obsessed with these facts or these concepts as much as it's just that I'm so devoted to them that I feel like they're worth repeating, and sometimes I don't even know that I'm repeating them. It's definitely a concept that I'm not good at understanding, but looking back at my older videos, it's I said that already, and I said this too. I said this too many times, and it's yeah. One thing about me though is I try my best to at least be a little consistent, which is why I do this on the weekly. Initially I wanted to talk about the manosphere, but I did that on my podcast episode. Another thing that I just repeated. I really do need to start linking my podcasts into the episodes where I mention my podcast, because the podcasts aren't there, and my videos actually do get watched to some extent. Whew, man, I don't have anything, but let's get this road on the show though. I have been obsessed with Africa lately. I have been trying to learn about the Orishas still. I'm doing some research about African gods and African folklore and African mythology and things like that. And let me just say, as I've said multiple times before, I'm glad that the Orishas and the gods are not really of Africa, are not really that popular here in America, because the last thing I want to hear is somebody say, well, who would win in the fight between... Shut up, that's not the point. I call those people fireworks fans. I feel like fireworks, when I say fireworks fans, they don't necessarily mean fiction or anything like that. It just means in general, there's when it comes to certain, fireworks, it has those three things that get people's attention. It's loud, it's fast, and it's colorful. Fast movements, flashing lights, or colors that change really almost immediately. And it's loud. These are things that people that get people's attention. So that's the thing that people are going to care more about, more than the science involved. You know what I mean? So it's people don't when I look at a firework, I'm just I wonder what chemical made that color. I wonder what they had to do in order to pack into the thing to make it do that. I wonder how they managed to in my brain I'm looking at fireworks and I'm wow, what's the process of doing that? And meanwhile other people looking at the fireworks going, pretty lights, loud noise. So there's a fireworks fan, and then there's the everything fan. So it's when it comes to fiction, I call the fireworks fans the ones who are obsessed with only a certain part of it, a certain aspect of it, that they just ignore everything else. For example, Naruto is a heavily political anime. Naruto is ridiculously political, monstrously political. It literally is a story about child soldiers being reared to ultimately help with, if not completely fight wars with, on an international level. Also, I love the word international, because international literally means within the nation, or within other nations. So it's technically speaking, if I want to say, if California and Washington were to ever go to war with each other, that would technically be an international issue, if I'm not mistaken. I think I got that right. I'm not sure. I mean, because interstate means within the states, right? Would that be an interstate issue or international issue? I don't know. Answer below, which you won't do because nobody likes commenting on my videos. Man, I don't mind. I like the likes. I don't mind the likes. I don't mind videos being liked, but it's I crave interaction. One of the few reasons why I'm on social media and stuff so heavy is because I want to be interacted with. I'm not trying to. It's liking my video is just confirmation that you saw it. And I appreciate that. I do. But it's I really hate the fact that I have to beg for comments, because I look at other people, I look at other people's work, and it's wow, they 84 comments. That means 84 people had something to say about this thing. It's just trippy to me. a little bit. But yeah, though, Naruto is heavily political. It's a heavily political show. And that's not the only one. Most anime usually tackle a lot of like a lot of crazy stuff and subjects and things like that. Like if Bleach doesn't make you at least a little bit interested in the occult or the paranormal or the concept of life after death, did you actually watch the show correctly? Like Deadman from DC is basically that concept in corporeal form. I think I'm using that word right, in the DC Comics universe. And nobody even, it's very weird that, with all of this fiction that's being provided to us on a regular basis, people will still only care about fighting. It's like, yeah, but that fight was cool. It's like, fireworks fans. Quick movements, maybe some noise, maybe some flashing colors, and boom, that's all they care about. It's also another thing too. It's 2022, and I think I've said this before multiple times, but it's 2022. Transphobia is just weird, Like, imagine being angry at somebody because you were sexually attracted to them, and now you're not. It's like, you can't get mad at them. They're just being themselves. They're just living their own life. They're not bothering you. You can't be upset at a trans woman because, oh, they're not a girl. It's just weird. And people are actually starting to push this. People are actually still trying to push this whole concept. And I actually brought this up in the manosphere thing. And I honestly think that the manosphere and the whole masculinity thing and the man thing and all the other crap like that, the real man concept is basically just the obsession with trying to be a white guy in the 50s. And that's all it is. It's like your pinnacle of manliness or masculinity is just basically being a white guy in the 50s. Just being able to smoke a cigar and your wife cooks you dinner and all y'all do is just, I don't know, have sex and fight. I don't know how the manosphere work. I just know that these idiots are just obsessed with the concept, and it's like, why? And honestly, in my opinion, I truly do. It took me a long time to understand this, but you know what? I'm willing to accept the fact that people have their own way that they want things to be done. I accept, human beings are complicated, complex. Human beings have their own way that they want things to be done for themselves. I feel like the problem is when they try to make it seem like it's something that everybody should try. Because everybody is different. Everybody is, for a country chock full of people who are trying to be individuals, they really want people to sort of confirm their identity by doing the thing. And I just think that that's ridiculous, because it's like, why would I want to do your thing when I can do my own thing? And granted, some things are, like I said, some things are similar. Maybe I like this food and another person likes that food, but we both still like food. That's where the connection comes together. But there are people out there who is like, no, you have to like this food because that food is awful. And it's like, no, that's where the differentiation and divisiveness comes from. And I think that's just wild, because for what? I just think that's weird, man. I'm moving around a lot because I'm trying to keep my body active, because if y'all haven't noticed, I've gotten fatter. So there's that. But yeah, transphobia is weird. The obsession with trying to be a white guy in the 1950s is weird. It's 2022. Get with the times. Treat people with respect, or just leave them alone. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with... It's like, is there some sort of rule that you have to be mean? What's wrong with choosing to not be mean? What's wrong with that? What's the problem with that? I don't know. It's just a weird thing, because it's like, when I was a kid growing up, there would be jokes would be like puns and things like that. Nowadays, jokes are just the meanest insult you could say about another person. When I was a kid growing up, the funniest joke I ever heard was, a guy getting on the phone and he was like, hello? You don't say. You don't say. You don't say. Well, what do you know about that? The other guy comes up. Well, what did he say? He didn't say. I don't know. Stuff like that is... Wordplay is funny to me. I love that. Like, I couldn't... Like, I can't, but nowadays people just look at a picture and be like, you look like such and such. And that's like the joke of the year. Or misinformation. The most annoying humor nowadays comes from like misinformation. People are out here just basically like telling whatever lie that they can just so they can laugh at other people. Like one of my least favorite jokes right now is the one where apparently Batman is like nobody, there's no evil people in Gotham City. Batman just beats up jaywalkers, and it's like it was cheeky starting off, but now people are starting to talk like this. This is a real concept. And it's like, are y'all aware of the villains that Gotham manifest? I'm ranting. I'm rambling. No political news, obviously, other than the McCarthy tapes. And literally everything that we thought about Republicans is true. These people, they say, like, every single thing that they say that they're for, they're, like, against. It's ridiculous. They talk about, oh, we don't want any taxes for any Americans. And Ron DeSantis is now pushing taxes because of his beef with Disney World, It's like, we want freedom of speech, but we also don't want people talking about racism and homosexual people in schools. I mean, freedom of speech we should be free to say whatever we want. But now you're telling us that we can't do that. Like, where does it end with these folks, Like, every single thing that they say that they support or they want, it almost... My personal life has gotten a little bit more, like, stressful. Money is tight, but it's not impossible, thankfully. So there's that. But speaking of money, like, I don't understand the concept of inflation. Like, I don't understand that. It's like, oh, people can't afford things. Let's make things more expensive to balance the economy. I don't know. Like, why? Why is it that the red button is always make things more expensive? What is up with that? It's so dumb. I'm talking too much. I'm ranting. I'm rambling. Y'all have a good one. Love and peace. Safety out there. And I try my best not to say love, peace, and happiness, because I realize nowadays that some people are only happy when other people aren't. So I don't like to say love, peace, and happiness. I say love, peace, and safety, because everybody can be safe. You know what I mean? Well, my safety is when somebody else isn't safe. Then that's not safety. But yeah, though, love and peace and safety. Maybe I should start saying something else, though. Love, peace, and stability. Because I think that works. Love, peace, and stability.